Hi again. We're in the middle of chapter 2 of 2 Peter at the moment, and it seems to be quite repetitive. There's quite a lot of sort of emphasis on people who are getting things wrong, people who live in a way that kind of hurts or offends God. And Peter wants to kind of drive the message home to us. And I'm deliberately taking time because Peter took time. And I think it's important that we look at these things, that we reflect on them verse by verse by verse, and apply them. Now, you may disagree. That's absolutely fine. It may be that you just want to skip over these reflections for the next few days and move on to something a little bit more positive. But let me continue with 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 14. With eyes full of adultery, they never stop sinning. They seduce the unstable. They are experts in greed and a cursed brood. Wow. That's quite a list, isn't it? Quite a sort of list of catalogue of error and sin and greed and debauchery that has kind of picked up from the previous few verses as well. Those who are arrogantly seeking their own way, those who are deliberately and concentrating on their own or our own perhaps hedonistic enjoyment rather than treating people in community and treating people with love. The major problem with adultery and sin and seduction and greed is that they're all about me. They're all about the one person. There's no regard at all about the other person. So, if I see somebody with whom I'm tempted to commit adultery, it's about what satisfaction can I get? What can I benefit from this? If I see a plate of delicious food and I just want to keep on scoffing, it's about what satisfaction do I get? What can I gain out of this magnificent feast? I don't need to worry about feeding anybody else. I don't need to worry about the thoughts or the needs or the emotional state of another person. I just want to concentrate on me. That's the attitude that is being described here, I think. But as Peter is reminding us as he goes through in this detail, this is not how the follower of Jesus Christ ought to behave. And what he's calling for over these verses is that we're much more sensible, we're much more godly, we're much more humble in the way that we work and in the way that we live and in the way that we have our being. So I think from the negatives that we pick up in these verses, we can pick up the positives, the alternative viewpoints, and we will come on to those, I promise you. But that sort of sense of here's how not to behave, here's how not to be. And in the light of what I'm saying about this, well, the lesson is obvious about how we might be and how we could be different from this and be living in a way that honours God, that delights him and pleases him. Let me pray that we're able to do that now. Father, help us. We want to serve you. We don't want to serve self. We don't want to serve ourselves. We want to honour you in the ways that we live. Please, would you help us to do that? Help us to know how that works and what we must do to be able to please you in such a way. In Jesus' name, amen. Bless you, and I hope when whatever parties and temptations we may have, we can honour God in the ways that we live. Take care.